So we have now learned about our different surfaces that we need to work on. We have looked at the different tools and the different materials. The next step before we can continue with the 3 basic techniques is we need to see whether you are light-handed in your pressure when working on the pewter or heavy-handed. So when I have a new group of students, I always give them an offcut piece of pewter, just any offcut that I have lying around. You can just use a small square, and what you want to do is you want to write your name on the pewter on your hard surface. So using a ballpoint pen, put the pewter on your hard surface and then write your name with your normal writing pressure. So nothing harder or nothing softer than you would normally write when you write on paper. Write your name on the pewter with the ballpoint pen. If you turn it over and you can barely see your name from the back, or you can barely feel the engraving from the back, you have a light-handed pressure. If I redo that same step and I apply a little bit more pressure, and I turn it over, and you can clearly see the name visible from the back, and you can also feel each letter from the back, you have a heavy hand. So you need to find a balance in between these two pressures. We want a medium pressure, and you will also notice during the course of the videos I talk about a medium to a hard pressure or a medium to a soft pressure when we do a certain step in the video. So you need to do a couple of these exercises, just writing your name on the piece of pewter or drawing a couple of lines to figure out how hard or how soft you need to apply pressure to get a nice even amount of pressure. So if we do the same exercise on our lino, I'm going to first write with my normal writing pressure, and I turn it over, and you can see it is much more visible than the first one, and that is because of the lino sheet. So you can clearly see the difference between working on the lino sheet and working on the hard surface. I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to apply a little bit more pressure as if I had a heavy hand. Again, there's a complete difference between the last one and the second one that I did where I had a heavy hand, and it is a lot more visible from the back. So your ideal pressure is somewhere in between these two options. You want a medium pressure to a soft pressure in some instances, or you want a medium pressure to a hard pressure in other instances. So you need to practice this by doing a couple of exercises on your pewter before you start doing any designs. Take a small piece of pewter and then use your metal ball tool and start off by using your 1mm metal ball tool. And then just draw a couple of lines working towards you. So working towards me, I'm going to start with a medium pressure, draw the line throughout using a constant pressure, and then finish the line. So starting with a medium pressure and ending with the same amount of pressure. You should have a nice even line, and on the back it should be the same height throughout the line. Do this a couple of times on your pewter just to get used to the feel of your tool working on your pewter, to get comfortable with the way the tool glides and the way that the pewter behaves below your tool. You can now take your same metal ball tool, and we're going to try and break our pewter, because a lot of students are scared of the pewter, that they're going to push a hole through the pewter because it is fairly thin. But even though it's thin, it does give away a lot of height before it starts breaking. So take that same metal ball tool, draw a line towards you, and then repeat that line. And repeat it again, and repeat it again. And you will keep on repeating, going over that line until you finally break your pewter. And as you can see, I've done it now a couple of times, and I'm still not there. I've now finally went through my pewter. So this will give you more or less an idea of how much pressure you can apply to your pewter before it starts breaking. The next one that I need to show you is the principle of working from the front of our pewter in order to raise our designs up. So working on my lino sheet, I'm going to take my 0.5mm ball tool, and I'm just going to draw with that same medium pressure a square. You can repeat the frame, and then you need to flatten in order for us to raise the central design up. We're going to flatten the area around the design, working towards our design, which means we're going to push all of this height that is on the side of our design into the space that we want to lift up. So keep working from the front of our pewter. We remove our lino sheet, and we're now going to work on our hard surface. We're going to take our paper stump, and we're going to flatten towards our design at a flat angle, that the whole edge of our paper stump is flat on our hard surface or on our pewter. We flatten working towards our design with the tip of our paper stump pushing all of that space into that square. You don't start flattening right against your design. You start a little bit away and you work your way up, right up against your design. After you've done this, you will notice that you have a small little ridge around your design. So to get that nice and tidy, we need to define. And for that purpose, we're going to use our skew tip Teflon tool, and we're going to flatten with the tip of the tool right at the edge of our raised design. This will flatten that little ridge around your design, giving you a nice flat area all around. And then we need to tidy up our edges by using our 1mm ball tool with a soft pressure, because we don't want to thin out these edges too much. And you can see I've got plenty of height working from the front of my design and flattening around the area. I can now move over and place my pewter upside down on my soft surface, and I can take my paper stump, the soft tip, and I can very lightly color in the area that I want to raise. You want to do this with a light pressure. If you do it too heavy, you're going to have stripes visible from the front. Remember that a little bit of height goes a long way. So we can always come back and repeat this process, but we cannot remove height from a design once it's done. So because you have edited your pewter from the back or modified your pewter from the back, we need to tidy up the front again. So I need to flatten with the paper stump, define and tidy up with the Teflon tool, and then tidy up my edges with my metal ball tool. So I can continue repeating the process of adding height from the back until I'm happy with my height at the end. So this is the basic principle of working from the front of our pewter in order to raise our designs. We're now going to do, in the next 3 videos, we're going to do the 3 basic techniques using a medium pressure, and then also using the same technique of working from the front to raise our designs.